to the Bully Girl podcast, episode number 13. It's your favorite Bully Girl Lily with you today with a very special guest, Savannah Alvarez from Las Vegas. Savannah, please say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Savannah is
Thank you for
from
having me.
Lone Wolf. Yeah, thank you for being here. And Savannah is from Lone Wolf Big Timers Kennels Vegas and is here with us today to talk about her kennel and her special program for breeding. But before we jump into it, please make sure to download the Bully Girl app to have access to more episodes and more Bully Breed content. So, yes, let's get into it. So, how are you doing today, Savannah?
I'm very well. I'm actually a little tired because we have a new litter on the ground right now, so it's that whelping life right now.
Yeah,
But
you've
we're
been very busy.
yeah, we're busy for sure. But like I've said before, we're a really tight unit family, so everybody kind of pitches in, which kind of helps out here. So we're able to get like a lot done with little time, so but puppies are thriving. They are 3 weeks old now, so we're starting to introduce them to mush, so they're going to be not nursing off of mom so much, so their appetites are picking up.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get into the details about the kennel, I want to start from the beginning. Where did it all start? What's the passion and what's the reason behind this passion towards dogs, Savannah?
Okay. Yeah. So we started in 2019 when my son was getting ready to graduate. School was really, really tough for him. So we kind of motivated him and just, he always wanted a dog, and we've had dogs in the past. My husband grew up with the pit bull, the old, fashioned pit bull terrier,
Yeah.
his whole life. So, um, we met Lone Wolf Big Timer Kennels here in Vegas. They were at a show, and we saw some of their puppies there. We decided to basically spend all of our tax money to buy this amazing bully girl, for my son as a kind of incentive, like, keep pushing, keep thriving, keep doing what you're doing. Um, Not so much as a bride, but just kind of a motivational companion. And he loved her. He loves her still to this day. That's his baby. So we bought her. She's our foundation female. She goes by Lumbre. And um, she helped him. She helped him all the way. He was a COVID 2020 graduation kid, so he didn't get a graduation like everybody else did. So his
Oh,
dog got him through the online school, all that we had to do. Everything was online. So she helped him get through that, and she helped him get through a lot of hurdles in his life so far. So we're very excited, and so that's kind of how we got into the bully community. We really didn't know like how big of a thing it is, until we got her, because after that it was like everybody was like, oh my gosh, you should bring her out to the shows, you should, do this. And we were just like, oh wow, we didn't know that there was like this big community of American bully, breeders and family. And just it was quite a bit of a shock, because my husband's been here since he was born, so he's a Las Vegas native, um, and we've never heard of anything like this. So it was really, really cool. And then that's when we started to stay in contact with Lone Wolf Big Timer Kennels, and we ended up my son ended up deciding to choose breeding as an option for our girl, and they guided us through the process. And so within that
okay.
process, my husband ended up getting cancer. So we kind of had to
Oh,
take a halt in the middle of that, because, at this point, his health was a big thing for us. So again, Lumbre has come into this picture, and she literally helped us all get through this, because we were in such shock that we were going to lose my husband. But luckily, the cancer, was in one of his kidneys, and we can live with one kidney. So they were able to just take out the whole kidney because of the placing, and he was able to. He's here today, fighting. Still cancer free, and Lumbre helped him get through that cancer as a couch potato. They both sat there while he healed up, and it was just it's
Oh
just
my
an
God.
amazing film.
Like
Yeah.
your story. Yeah, your story gave me like goosebumps. Thanks for sharing.
Oh,
It has like it ups and downs, but it's such a beautiful story how like humans and dogs can form this beautiful bond and actually form a relationship in a way. It's like
oh
go
yeah.
through different stages of life,
Very.
which is
Yeah.
very touching.
Oh, I always say a four-legged animal can do so much for human and animals. Like it's crazy how a four-legged animal could bring so much together. It's so crazy to me.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. I think it's amazing that way. And in terms of like owning the kennel, is it you and your husband who own it, or do you have other people helping?
So we do own the Vegas camp. Yeah. We ventured out and we opened up a Vegas camp here. So then we have four other families that own the Cali camp, which is in California. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
we're the CEOs of the Las Vegas camp here in Vegas.
Okay, okay. And I know, as you mentioned, that there are many, breeds and kennels all over the USA. And what do you think? What, apart from the touching story you shared, what makes your kennel special and different from the rest?
So I believe my kennel here, what makes us special is that we are a very tight family unit. Everything we do together, and that goes from doing shows, from our breeding, from our whelping. Everything is done together. Our decisions are done together. We do not make a decision without each other, and that includes my 10-year-old daughter, that includes my son, that includes my husband and myself. When we make a decision, it's between all of us. When it comes down to puppy names, up to what show we're gonna go to, it's all done together. So I believe that makes sets us apart from other people, because we are very tight, and we've always actually been told plenty of times that you guys are such an amazing tight unit family, and every time we show up to like a show, it's an amazing feeling because they're like, oh my gosh, they're like, here comes the lone wolf big timer family. So we always get noticed for that. I mean, when it shows, it's all hands on deck. Like nobody's sitting down, everybody's doing something. So I feel like that sets us apart for sure.
It sounds special, yes. Family love, I think, can go for a long run. And maybe if we jump into more details about how you actually keep up with the dogs and with the breeding process, do you test your breeding dogs for genetic health conditions? And what type of tests do you perform, Savannah?
Yes, we do. That's a big thing for us, especially because we work in the vet field. We work in the medical field. So I do work part-time at the vet clinic that my son also works at. And he's going to school now to become a vet tech. So for South Buffalo Springs Animal Hospital. And they are great. So they do believe in educating us as well as we educate others. So I do like to embark them, which is a big thing for us, which helps test for any kind of things that they may have throughout the line of their blood. We also do pre-breeding exams for our females, and that includes blood work. We test thyroid. We test her for brucellosis, herpes, because going on to having these puppies, that can all be a defect for the puppies growing up. So we do all that testing because it's so important. It's so important to make sure that you can be the best breeder you can to produce these amazing puppies, and that they can live long lives with their forever families. So that's our big goal. As far as studs, it's also important for us when we do stud breedings. We test our studs. We make sure the same thing: thyroid, blood, liver, kidney. The embark to make sure they don't transfer anything down from their bloodline. We make sure all that's done, but we also do a semen analysis because we also want to make sure that their semen is top quality and to make sure that they get the best product that they can for what they've essentially purchased, so we just want to make sure that the stud is on his best level as well. So
Yeah, I feel like it's a huge background work going there before you actually meet the potential buyer. And in terms of like keeping the puppies healthy and also physically fit, what do you do? Do you have like a specific exercising routine or a special diet?
oh
Could you
yeah.
tell us more about that part?
Oh yeah. So we definitely mom when she has the puppies, it's very important for us to make sure that she gets all the nutrients, vitamins that she needs because she's going to transfer those over to her puppies through the milk. So we do make sure that she's fed like puppy food. She gets her Oxy Mama, which is a vitamin for the day. We make sure that she has lots of calcium. And also we also make sure that her teats don't get too full where she gets mastitis. So we make sure that we massage her and we move that milk around so that way the milk is moving and it's not staying stuck and cluttered because that can create infection for the mom and that'll pass it on to the babies. So when the babies start nursing, we make sure that they're all latched on, they all do good so far, and I'm so grateful for this. We haven't had any issues. All of our moms have been really good. And then once they start moving into mush, we start inviting them into the same thing, puppy food that is recommended by our veterinarian. And then we kind of just ease them into that with a little bit of goat's milk. We also do some vitamins in that as well. And then once they get a little bit more mature, we start inviting them into like a little bit of a raw egg. Um, and then we still stay with the same puppy food because that's going to help them with their brain. It's going to help them with their bones. It's going to help them develop in the ways that they need to. When we start seeing the puppies walk, and that's a big thing too. Is like we put down pads on the ground so that way they're not spreading out, getting their because that can also cause them to have hip dysplasia so early on in life. So proper setting is very important for puppies when you're whelping them because they can cause themselves to have that hip dysplasia by spreading out so much when they're eating. So we make sure that they are like stanced in their feet on their feet when they eat proper so that way that they don't do anything to themselves, and then growing up then they would have those issues. But other than that, once they start walking, we make sure that we put a little bit of tiny collars on them so they get used to those. We make sure that they know how to walk on a leash. I mean, it's a whole puppy process. So we do all that before they go to their forever families. We've potty trained them. We do crate train them for when people do go to work or, families that do work full time jobs. They have the option to make sure that their puppies can be crated and not use the bathroom in the crate. So we do crate train them. And also, it's a safe place for them. You know, it's a safe place for them so that when they need to unwind, they know they can go home. And that's where they can stay and they can rest and they can come out whenever they want. So we do that as well.
Yeah, that sounds like a long training, but also I'm sure very productive and useful for the potential homes for
Yeah.
them because just be easy to interact and have have spend time with. And you mentioned that about the food. Are there any special brands of dog food that you would recommend new
So
breeders to use?
yeah, actually, I would recommend Purina Healthy Puppy for the puppies. Just because it's been a very good brand for us when the puppies are born and also for mom while she's nursing and pre-breeding. So um when she gets pregnant, we start feeding her that from that time on to till she's done nursing. Because the puppy formula is going to have a lot of vitamins and nutrients to help brain development, bone deficiency, help all that. So feeding that to her early on helps her also produce her milk as well. And so that kind of helps. So Purina Healthy Puppy is a good brand for when you're nursing a mom or you're whelping. But on a regular basis, we do feed our dogs Wholesomes, which is a great brand. We love it. I mean, and none of our dogs have had any issues with it. We can jump between flavors, which they love. So if they get picky with one, we can jump to another, and it doesn't affect them at all, which I love. And then we also do Victor. Now we do Victor when we're going to be like in shows and for some of our more active dogs, because it helps them with high protein. High protein is good for high active dogs. So we do switch between the Wholesome and the Victor for sure. So those are our top three
Okay.
brands. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how many dogs do you have at the moment, Savannah?
So right now we do have six. We do have six. We have my stud. We have two studs. We have Casino, who is our show dog, and he is getting ready to be champed out with WBR World Bully Registry. We are so close to champing him out, and we are so excited. So, um,
Yeah.
we have Vegas Vic. He is our working stud right now. He's the one that's been producing litters. He has 4 litters on the ground right now, and they've all came out such amazing dogs. We're so excited to see his production. You know, it's amazing how they look like him when he was little, and then they grow up and they're just like, you know, when you outproduce your own stud, you know that you've done your job. So it's like he's good. We have Lumbre, who we call our OG because she's the one that started our camp. She's our foundation female, and now she is a couch potato. She's retired, so she just hangs out and chills with her grandbabies and her kids. And then we have Showgirl, who is right now our working mama right now, who also just retired after this litter. She This is her third litter, so she's gonna be retired and she's gonna join her mom and be a little couch potato, or as my husband would say, a house hippo. So she will be another retired one. We do not believe in I would say throwing our females away. We don't believe in that. We want to keep them here with us, living with us their best life, because nobody's going to show them the love that we've given them the best way that we can. So we do want to keep them. We don't adopt them out. It's just something we've chosen as a family to keep them here with us. So those two will be on the couch together. And then we do have a new upcoming female. Her name is Stardust. She's our micro female. So she's gonna be our
Okay.
next working female, and she's amazing. She's still very young right now, so it probably won't happen until like the end of the year. But we're okay with that because we got these puppies, and work is it's a lot of work right now. So yeah, yeah. I'll have my husband grab a puppy right now. And then
Thank you.
um we have Iggy. So good story about Iggy and how serious we take our camp. Iggy was diagnosed with hip dysplasia very early on in life. So she was essentially supposed to be one of our working females. But since we believe in producing the best that we can and not putting that back out there, once that test came back that we had that, we decided to retire her right away. One, we
Okay.
didn't want to hurt her. We didn't want to anything to affect her life. You know, we spoke with the doctor what our options were, and his exact words were, "The if you're the breeder that I know that you are, then you know that breeding her is not an option right now." Uh-uh.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
wasn't an option for us.
And who is this with us?
Mama, is it cold?
Oh, that's a cute little one. And does it have a
Yeah,
name?
they're spoiled. So yes, her name is Burlesque. So
Relay.
Burlesque is a show
Okay.
here in Vegas. And since her mama is showgirl, we decided to name her after a show here in Vegas.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it seems like very
Yeah. So
active.
yeah. Oh yeah, she's very active.
Yeah. And what do you do to, socialize your puppies and prepare them for new homes? You mentioned a couple of the exercises and things you do for their well-being, but is there any specific procedure you go through for specifically socializing them?
Oh yeah. So we like to socialize them with family that comes over. That's a big thing for us is having the kids come over and play with the puppies. Just because we want all of our puppies to go home and be able to fit in any type of family. Families with kids, families that are of two family, we want them to be able to socialize and be well trained and as best that we can do. So kids,
Yes.
they like to mess with the dog's waters. They like to mess with the food. So we want to make sure that our puppies are not aggressive, that they have a good temperament, and that they know how to deal with, kids because kids are rambunctious and kids are everywhere. So, dogs are not always used to that. So we want to make sure that they can adapt to that kind of environment. So we do have a lot of
Yeah.
kids that come over, a lot of cousins that come over. My daughter, she will sit down and play in their food, show them that it's okay. When they're eating, she'll feed them with their hand. And then we also do like out once they've got been fully vaccinated, we let them go out to the public. So we'll take them to like our feed stores, we'll take them to Target, we'll take them to like pet stores, and we walk them on a leash so that they know it's okay to be out, and then we let people pet them just to make sure that they are okay with the outside environment, getting out and being able to
Mhm.
socialize, knowing that it's okay, and also it does help with their temperaments. So when they see new people,
Okay.
it's not so abrupt to them. um, it also helps with show training as well. So when we're show training, it helps them be able to adapt to that because shows are very busy and there's a lot of dogs and a lot of families out there. So it does help them adapt to that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like basically kind of training a whole behavior, and it
Yeah.
sounds awesome. But I know that there are some misconceptions about the bully breed, and one of them maybe is that they are very aggressive or something like that. What is
Yeah.
your opinion, and how do you handle misconceptions as a breeder?
So that's one of the topics that I'm very excited to talk about because we have actually experienced that on multiple occasions on hand in our neighborhood at Target, where people have, they've made comments like walking by or, like walking them around the neighborhood. Oh, your dog looks vicious, or, oh, that dog looks like it's going to eat me. And it's so sad that people are so this breed is so misunderstood by people because honestly, this breed as an American bully breeder, and even with my husband, you know, breeding the pit bulls all his life, is that that's not the breed, it's how you train them. If you train them with love and caring and proper, you know like stance that you're the alpha and they are not, then they are going to understand and they are going to be the best breed that they are. There's just so much that goes into it. And I don't think people understand that having a dog is a lot of work, whether it's breeding or not. You have to have the work put in to help train these dogs to be the best that they can. And that goes for all breeds. So it's when it's the bullies, it's like no, it's not just the breed. It's how you train them, and that's truly what we believe because none of our dogs are like that. We show them love. We show them the training. We take them out. We socialize them. It's all it takes all in effect to make sure that they are the best dog that they can be. not only breed, but just the best dog that they can be. So I do believe that the misconception is just, it's a stigma that they have right now, and it's not fair to them,
Yes.
so I do believe that we are the voice for them. And that's the thing that we have to better the breeder in order to better the dog. We have to be better breeders to be able to fight that stigma that is out there. So that's what we're trying to do, and I think this far
Yeah.
we've done a great job. All of our, we check in with all of our families that have gotten puppies from us, and puppies are doing great. They're living their best lives, and that's what we like to see. And we're
Yes.
grateful for that. We're grateful because that means that we're doing
That's
our
awesome.
job.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. That's like, I think this misconception can, I just in my head I have the comparison with like babies, yes, human beings. When we are born, if we don't get the love and care we need, we're gonna be aggressive as well. So it just depends on
yeah,
the context, the environment we are growing up. And obviously it's
yeah.
like different procedure, but as creatures we all want this love from the caregiver. And talking about the breeders, what makes a better breeder, Savannah? What do you think? What are top three like characteristics and behaviors for that make a great breeder?
So I believe, in my opinion, that being the best breeder is bettering yourself, educating yourself, never stop learning from others, from articles, from broadcasts like this. Like this, you have to educate yourself to be the better breeder, and continue to take that to the next level. Sharing your information with others is going to help others be better breeders, and that's where I feel like you're going to be the better breeder, and constantly learning from that and passing it on. I feel like what I've experienced is a lot of breeders don't like to share things because it's always a competition, and it shouldn't be like that. We should be
Yeah,
a community that evolves and learns together, and creates this community that we know we have to be a better community. But I've met a lot of amazing breeders along our journey, and we all continue to learn together. There's been so many camps that we've met that will share their ideas with us. We share ours. When we have litters, we talk about each other's litters. So I feel like, being in that atmosphere, having that positivity is going to make you a better breeder. So I feel like, not always thinking about it always being a competition, but as more of a learning experience. Learn from each other, and that's going to make you the better breeder for sure, because you're going to learn a lot from what you wouldn't even expect. So that's my thing for sure.
that's
So if
lovely. That
anybody needs
sounds
any
like
tips,
very
let me know.
okay. Just be more loving, and you're gonna be a better breeder. I guess that's the
Yes,
message.
loving and caring.
Yes, yes. And is there anyone in the breeding community that you look up for and like who inspires you?
Oh, there's a few people for sure. um I will mention, so in my article with you guys, which by the way, let me share. Billy Girl magazine. I
Please
do got
do.
my article. So I was so excited to get this in the mail. I was so excited for that. But Rob Bernardo, he is with Ultimate Bullies. He was with us since we started our journey. And he definitely showed us the compassion, the strength throughout our whole journey, as well as our team. Um, and we couldn't be more grateful. We've learned so much from him and from our team. So I do have to say that, with them being the positive uh, path that they gave us, we wouldn't have been able to do it without them. Rob Bernardo, he is actually he owns the sire to this litter right now. But he has been through us since cancer. He helped us, get through that financially by using his platform to help us, get on there, and we were just new to this bully community, so we knew really nothing. We were just learning. But he is an amazing. He believes in believing in your vision. So he's one of those breeders that you learn from. He's not scared to share information. He has created many platforms so that we can learn from each other. And he also does lives constantly so that everybody can learn from each other, share their ideas. And he truly believes in his vision and his health of his pets. And that's one big thing, is that a lot of breeders, don't really like to share that kind of information, but he does, and he's really good at that. So that's another thing that we feel is important. So he inspired us so much throughout our journey, and we couldn't be more blessed to have him in our life as well. And there's a few other camps like the Bully Brew House. They've inspired us a lot. We've inspired them. We're kind of like a duo. We just kind of reach out to each other when we have, oh my gosh, did you hear about this? Oh, did you see this? Or so we kind of just go back to back. C2V Bullies, they're an amazing kennel as well. They really are doing their thing with show training. So they do a lot of show training tips, and like we said, deteriorating that stigma that the bully breed has. They do their thing with their dogs, socializing them. Like, they take it to the next level. They are great. Take them on hikes. They're amazing. So check them out for sure. They truly inspire us for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. It's actually, I can see like your love towards the community, which is awesome. And I think that's the most important kind of energy here vibrating. And you mentioned about the show training. So how do you prepare your dogs for a show?
Ooh, so shows. It's
Yes.
a lot because shows are busy, and shows there's so much going on. Um, so
Like in
we
any
like to,
show.
yeah. So we like to take them, ease them in slowly. We like to take them to the shows. We take their comfort zone, take them out of their comfort
Okay.
zone. And we kind of just put them out there. We make sure that they're okay. But keep in mind, this is where your social training comes into play, because that's going to help them be able to react with other dogs, other people, and this is where that comes into play. Because at these events, there's a ton of people and there's a ton of dogs and there's music, and so this is where the dogs are going to they're going to show what you train them to do.
Yeah.
So we take them to the shows. We like to start off with the fun shows first when we first start training,
Okay.
only because fun shows are more active. A lot of people will go to the fun shows, so they're a little bit more busier. And then also because it's more of a bully environment, where you're going to see a lot of different dogs. You're going to see the Frenchies, you're going to see the bullies, and you're going to see the English, you're going to see the XL. So it's a variety of the dogs. So
Hmm.
we do like to show them in those first. And that's where we come in with our leash training, our collar, making sure that they have the show collars that they need to have. You will have a lot of people there that are, like the pit bull store. You'll have Silverline that will be selling those specific items that you need to be able to show your dog properly in the shows. And this is where you'll start learning to put the collar at a 45-degree angle, so that way you're not choking them. You'll learn to walk them on your left side, because in shows that's where you walk your dogs, is on the left side always. So we
Interesting.
do a lot of that. My daughter, she'll start getting into like the junior handler, and she gets to handle the dogs, and so that way they get used to her. So when we do go to like the bigger shows, the sanctioned shows, she can actually do stuff in there, and they're used to her. Now the big person that we talk about in the shows for our camp is my son. My son is our main handler. I
Yeah.
handle the dogs a little bit, but
Who is the reason for all of this, I believe, in your
oh
family?
yeah. I tell him, I'm like, you're like the dog whisperer, because he goes in there and he just rocks it. Like, they listen to
Yeah.
him. It's like they just they vibe with him, so they just know, like, when they get into the ring, it's showtime, and they both go in there, and whether they win something or they don't, they come out and they're already winning, you know. Getting in the ring, you're already winning. So it's not a big thing for us to take home a trophy or a ribbon, or you know, we we're winning by getting in that ring and just showing out, you know. We everybody recording, you know, so we have stuff to post. We're just excited to even get that far, you know. And like Casino, he was a handful because he was lazy.
Okay.
Oh, he was lazy. He would like to sit down all the time, never like to stack. So stack, let me uh, stacking is when, you know, you put them in a correct posture, so that they can see their all fours. You want to make sure that their head is at a certain level and that their tail is straight out so that the judges can see their stature.
Yeah.
And stacking is basically them freezing in their posture. So we do that with stack boxes. And basically we start that at 5 weeks old. And that's how one of our best studs in the shows, he's like a freaking, he once he gets in the ring, he's like, let's go. He just sits there. He free stacks on his own now. So he's amazing. So Casino, we did start, and this is where we learned this difference. We started training Casino a little later on, and I think it made him lazy. So getting him into the shows was a little harder for Casino. But now Casino is doing his thing and he's almost champed out. So we are excited because now, like I said, back to my son, when they get in that ring, they just do their thing, and he knows it's showtime, you know. And he's so gentle. He's just a big teddy bear, you know, and it's amazing to see them. Yeah.
That sounds like lovely
Yeah.
picture to see. Okay, Savannah. Yeah, can you tell us about the purchasing process from your kennel from start to finish, please?
Oh yeah, 100%. So we like to, you know, we post them on you know, social media platforms. We like to get referrals from friends. So we, and we're not like in a big hurry to let them go. You know, we like to take our time. So when we have people that reach out and they want to purchase a puppy, we do take our time to get to know them a little bit. We call them, we FaceTime, and we kind of see where they're at as far as a family aspect, to see if, you know, how they want to, what they think that they're going to get themselves into. So
Yeah,
um once we do that, we just require a deposit to hold the puppy. And then depending on the age, if they're not ready to go, we basically create a relationship with them. um Once we create a relationship with them throughout the process until the puppy's ready, then we kind of just meet up with them. We send contracts, because everything we do on a contract level. We're very big about that, only because we don't want there to be any kind of misconception between the process, and we want everything to be in
yeah,
black and white, so that way that there is um a professional borderline, you know, between us, because we could always click and be an amazing, you know, duo, the purchaser and us. But at the end of the day, it's still a professional business, you know. So it's always good to have that, but it's not a big thing, you know. It's just good to have it. So we do that. We
yeah,
send contracts over, make sure that they're okay with what we require as, you know, the breeder, and then we invite them to any kind of questions that they have or may have, and we kind of just discuss it. And we do have an option to have some clause in there. So if they have anything, or if we have anything we want to add after the contract, we can do that. And then we give them pup dates, you know, as we go. So we'll send pictures. We'll ask them how often, or, you know, how much they want. And then we'll send pup dates, you know, pictures of them, videos, updates on how their temperament's coming or training. You know, they've hit a milestone. Um, and then we basically just create that relationship that way as well. And then once the puppy is ready, we meet up at um have dinner or something like that. But one big thing that we are big about is just knowing where they live. So we do like to see their living environment, and which
Okay.
is a big thing for us. And we haven't had any issues this far where people haven't not invited us to their home. So that's a big thing for us, is to make sure we know where they're living and their living environments. Um, and then at that point, we make the special delivery, and we will exchange, whatever's remaining, whatever's due. But we also, take them all their health testing, because we do health testing before they go home. We do a wellness exam with our vet before they go home. We make sure that we have all vaccine records up to date, and we make sure that their, rabies tag and everything's included in that. And then we also microchip them for them. So we make sure that they are already microchipped and ready to go. So that way that they don't have to worry about that, because these dogs are not, they're very exquisite dogs. So right now, people are stealing them left and right. So you got to be
Mm-hmm.
very careful with them. And if they were to ever get out of the yard or they're ever lost, at least they have something to protect them in that way, and they can get back to their homes. So we do that for them as well.
Basically, you are making like an extended family with their new homes by building relationships, which
Yeah.
is a very beautiful part of your vision, I believe.
Yeah.
And but have you ever? You said that you most of the time will be fine. Have you ever experienced returns of your or rehoming of your puppies? And if even if not, how do you like handle this process? How do you program
You
to
know what?
handle?
I haven't. I haven't. Um, all my puppies have gone to amazing families, and we all still talk on a regular basis. So I mean, honestly, I'm blessed because we we've chosen, as they are interviewing us, as we're interviewing them. I'm sure they're interviewing us as well as breeders.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
our all of our puppies have gone to amazing families, and we stay connected with them along the way. Like, we get pup dates, we get invites over for pizza. Sometimes we've been over and got to see them, and it's amazing because we get to see what we produced and how big they've gotten,
Yes.
and do they still remember us and stuff like that. So no, I mean, our journey with the puppies has been so amazing. And all the families, we couldn't be grateful enough for all the families that have gotten a puppy from us, because um we it just shows that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we're at the spot we're supposed to be at in our life. So we're really excited that we've had such great people reach out to us.
Yeah. I think absolutely yes, and it's on both sides. So, but because if you haven't done your job, then you wouldn't probably meet and attract the great
Yeah,
people. So
and
it's
it's crazy
fine that you
because
are, yeah,
yeah, and it's crazy because, like, these families, they'll reach out and they'll tell us, like, "Oh my gosh, he did so well on his walk," or he did, and it's like, "Yes. Yes, I did
yes, they
it."
are already
you know?
really congratulate. Yes,
Cuz you always
that's
wonder, like, did
beautiful.
did that training, yeah, did that work? Was it effective, So yeah. It definitely was a
Big, big yes, yes.
yeah.
Okay, and you know that as lovely and beautiful this story sounds, there are some challenges and difficulties behind the scenes that nobody knows and talks about. And maybe you would care to share with us what is the most difficult thing in the bully game to overcome?
Uh, in the bully game, I would have to say is the environment, like the atmosphere, like I said previously, it's really hard to it's really hard to be able to share things, because you want to you want to be the best, but like I said, it's always a competition, and it shouldn't be that way. Um Whereas there's times that, even like in the past, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if we do this or what if we do that? But then what if somebody else does it better? Like that mentality you cannot have. You got to be able to better yourself with being able to be as open as possible. And I feel like in the bully community, it's not that easy right now. In my experience, I feel like everybody's out like to be better than everybody else when we should be better as a whole. And I feel like
Mhm.
that's so hard to overcome, as well as like the the health of the pets. Like everybody is not everybody, but in my opinion, like there is a lot that people are trying to create the best micro or the best bully, and they're doing things that are not bettering the breed. They're doing things that are hurting the breed because it's not genetically healthy what they're doing. So that's another big thing is like in the bully community is being able to make sure that you're you're creating a healthy American bully. You're creating healthy dogs in general, not mixing and doing all this stuff that just it's a big thing right now. It's a big thing, and you kind of just have to be careful with who you deal with. And it's sad that like a lot of people think it's okay, but then a lot of people are just like, no, that's not okay. So it kind of creates a divide in that community that we have that we know is so great. But like I said, it's just a lot of that. The health, the the competition. It's not always a competition. Like stuff like that is it's really hard to overcome because people's visions are different, and it's just it's really hard to overcome. But I also think that behind the scenes of being a breeder, that can take a toll on your mental health as well, and that you have that's why you guys have to be as tight and as great as you can. Because believe me, over here at the Vegas camp, sometimes it gets stressful. It gets stressful. But you know
Yeah.
what? Take your breather and go do something and come back. Like it's just it's how you create your flow. You got to have a
Yeah.
flow. And so over here, I think that's another thing is us overcoming a lot is having our finding our flow of things because it does get stressful, especially when you have a litter of 7 or 8 and you got, mom not producing milk or whatever the case may be, um, whatever, um, what's the word? Whatever, like, whatever challenge you have at that moment, you got to be able to, as a team, handle it, together. Whether it's somebody stepping
Yeah.
away or, somebody's getting some rest or somebody's, hydrating. It's just, it's really hard to overcome. It is, but it's worked great. We've learned a lot through our journey and now we have a flow. So we know how to get through it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, you have like this formula of, reverse psychology of the game. Yes, whatever negative comes back, you reply with positivity and you fill a gap, which is, I think, a very beautiful concept.
Yeah.
And tell us about one of your main goals for 2023. Oh, is he sleeping? It's a he, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a very cute little face.
She kind of blends in with my shirt, so I was like, let me get up.
Yeah,
So one of our main goals this year is kind of already happening, and it's to get one of our dogs champed out in a show. So um, we work so hard training our dogs. On top of just breeding, we have to have time for our main dogs that live with us. So um, our main goal this year is to champ out Casino so that he can get his what he deserves, to show off his work that he's done. And then we also want to be able to spend more time with our other dogs, because that's important to us too. So behind the scenes of being the breeder, it's really important to have time for them too, you know. So on top of that, we have to make sure that they're getting their adequate playtime, their adequate love, their adequate, you know, time
Yeah.
with us is important to us. So we definitely want to make sure that they are well taken care of, and we want to get some of our other dogs out to more shows as well. But here in Vegas, it's hot right now, so we can't really get out to a lot of the shows like we want to, because it's so
Yeah.
hot. So, but that's one of
Okay.
our main goals here, and get obviously start. We're gonna this year hopefully get our first in-house breeding, which is gonna be with our own stud, with one of our females here. So we're very excited to see how that goes, and finally be able to use one of our studs for one of our girls and have our first in-house breeding. So we're very, very excited for that.
Yeah. Sounds excited. Uh, yes. And how would you imagine the ideal community in the bully breed 10 years from now, Savannah?
Ooh, 10 years from now. 10 years from
Yes.
now, I really hope that we as a community can come together and rock this bully breed and the stigma that they have, you know, because we are their voice, you know, and I'm so big
Mhm.
about this breed. Like this is not something that, you know, you you take on and it's like, "Oh, I'm done with that hobby." No, it's not. It's not a hobby. You know, this is a real deal. And we are
Mhm.
their voice. So we have to make sure that we can stay together, united as the community that I know we are. And I hope that in 10 years from now, we can rock that and we can basically shut those people up that think this breed is so vicious and so aggressive and, you know, whatever comments that they have, but show them that they are an amazing breed. And I will stand by them 100%. And this is not something that's going to go away from us anytime soon. So this is we're I mean we're raising our children to learn this breed, to know this breed. So this is going to be a lifelong process for us, and we're excited to take it on. So we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So in 10 years from now, I hope to see that we're coming together more as a united community and breaking that stigma that this breed has, because we have to be the better breeder. So 10 years from now, I hope that we're making a change for sure. For sure.
Lovely. I feel like you are a great visionary with dedication and ambition. So I'm sure you will see the results you want to
Thank
see.
you. Thank you so
And
much.
you mentioned that this is not a hobby for you. It's like a full engagement and a big deal for you. But maybe you would like to share with us what other passions or maybe hobbies do you have, and what do you do apart from being a breeder?
Yeah, so I work at the vet. I work at a vet clinic. And essentially, I want this to be my full time thing. You know, I want to be able to do this full time. And our goal is to basically own a ranch. We're trying to get a better, a bigger area so that our dogs can have the space and land that they deserve to run free, you know, and roam around. And so that's one of our goals, lifelong goals. um but definitely I want to be doing this full time. This is not a hobby for me. This is something that I want to make sure I can do forever, and I enjoy doing it, from the whelping to the show training to taking them on a walk. Like this is my thing. This is what I like to do. My whole family likes to do it. And we do have some goals that we want to accomplish along the way, and hopefully be able to do that. So right now, yes, my husband is he works for a battery company, and he also wants to be
Okay.
full time doing this. So we're hoping that we can, as a family unit, full time, be the best breeders that we can and do it full time. You know,
Yes.
where
Okay. All the
there's
best
a
with.
will, there's a way. So
Yes, exactly.
so
And
we'll
I
be
I
there.
feel
We
like
will be there. We will
yes,
be there.
I don't hesitate. I'm sure you will be there because you have the passion and I guess you also have the knowledge for it. And is there anything you would like to see added to Bully Girl magazine or in the podcast in the future? Yeah, Savannah.
Oh, you guys are a great platform. And when I got the app and I was able to like start listening to all the episodes more, I was just like, wow, like I mean, you guys put so much in the magazine, so much effort in it, so much in the episodes. Um it's really hard to see more, like cuz you guys cover everything, like um maybe I don't know, maybe some show stuff maybe. I mean, you guys have that in there
Show
too, so it's
stuff.
really hard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really hard, but maybe a little bit more of the show stuff. Maybe some judges. I don't know. It's really hard to say because you guys do so much already. So, I mean, I love listening to it. Like I said, when you guys reached out to me, I was over the moon. I was so ecstatic. I told my husband, I am I this is it. Like I know that I'm doing something right and I'm so honored to be on here. I was so honored to be in the magazine. I was so honored to do that part. And then when you guys asked me to do the interview, I was so excited. I couldn't wait. So I think for the most part, you guys have gotten it really covered. And I think if you continue to do what you're doing, I mean, we're all going to be able to learn from you guys, and we're all going to be able to learn from all these episodes, all these stuff that you're posting in the magazine, because it's very well covered, very well covered.
Thank you so much for your feedback, and I think it's amazing readers like you show their story and their experience and knowledge that makes us great. Great. So thank you so much for being with us today, Savannah. And I was
Thank
excited. I was very excited to see you as well, and like getting to know about some type of field that maybe is not my best, you know. Uh, Profession, or it's not something that I feel like I'm knowledgeable enough. But today I've learned a lot and you are doing great. And thank you so much for sharing all this information with us today.
thank you. I
And
was gonna say I hope that you learned something from me today. So I've learned a lot
yeah,
from you guys. I hope you learned
learned
from
a
me.
lot. Learned, first of all, I've learned about you, the details and inside of your beautiful family story, how it all started. And that's one of the inspiring parts from today to take with me. And is there anything you would like to add before we end our conversation today, Savannah?
um, I would just like to say thank you for having me on here, and definitely stay tuned for us because we are going to be making some big moves within the next, I would say, 5 years, or sooner. But we do have some goals, and just keep vibing, keep learning, keep educating each other, because at the end of the day, that's where you're gonna learn and that's where you're gonna win. So thank you for being this platform for us to be on, and stay tuned. We do have this little girl who will be the addition to our camp. Like I said, her
Oh,
name is Burlesque, and she is an amazing female. She's a pocket extreme American bully, and
yeah,
we can't show her off in our journey. So definitely stay tuned because she's gonna be something special, you guys.
yes. We are looking forward to see her moves. And yes, thank you so much, Savannah. And to all of our viewers today, make sure you go and download the Bully Girl app to have access to more episodes and just learn more about the bully community. And I guess, yes, that's right there, the magazine. And wait for
Yes. Make sure you guys
wait
order
for
magazine, Bully Girl magazine. The volume 105 is out right now. So make sure you guys get that ordered. And there's so much in here that you guys are going to want to see. So make sure you guys get that ordered, you guys. Bully Girl Magazine edition 105.
Yes. Thank you.